In the heart of a vast African savanna, where the golden grass stretched endlessly under the blazing sun, there lived a young cheetah named Kito. Kito was different from the other cheetahs in his family. He was fast, incredibly fast. By the time he was 2 years old, he could outrun almost any animal on the plains. His mother was proud of him. His siblings admired him. But Kito carried a heavy weight inside his heart that no one else could see. When Kito was very young, barely a cub, he had witnessed something that changed him forever. His father, the strongest and fastest cheetah in the entire region, had been killed by a pack of hyenas. Kito remembered that terrible day with painful clarity. He remembered his father's roar, the dust rising in the air, the chaos, and then the silence. He remembered his mother's grief. He remembered feeling small, helpless, and terrified. From that day forward, Kito made a promise to himself. He would never be weak. He would never let anyone he loved get hurt again. He would control everything around him to keep his family safe. As Kito grew older, this promise became an obsession. He refused to let his younger sister, Amara, go hunting alone. He insisted on checking every part of their territory twice a day, searching for threats. He would not sleep until he was certain that every danger had been identified and avoided. When his mother told him to rest, he would refuse. When Amara wanted to play with other young cheetahs, Kito would forbid it, worried that she might get hurt or wander into danger. He carried the weight of protecting everyone on his shoulders, and it was slowly crushing him. Kito's body grew thin. His eyes were always tired. He barely ate because he was too busy patrolling and worrying. His muscles ached from constant tension. Other cheetahs noticed his behavior and kept their distance. They thought he was aggressive and controlling. Even Amara, who loved her brother deeply, began to avoid him because his constant worry and rules made her feel suffocated. Kito's mother watched with sadness as her son slowly destroyed himself, trying to control everything and everyone around him. One hot afternoon, Kito was lying under the shade of an acacia tree, exhausted but unable to rest. His mind raced with thoughts. What if hyenas come tonight? What if Amara wanders too far? What if I miss something important? What if I fail? His chest felt tight. His breathing was shallow. He felt like he was drowning in his own fear. Just then, an old tortoise named Jabari slowly made his way toward the tree. Jabari was ancient, perhaps 100 years old. His shell was weathered and scarred from decades of life on the savanna. He moved slowly, but his eyes were sharp and wise. Jabari looked at Kito and said in a calm, deep voice, "Young cheetah, you look like you are carrying the whole savanna on your back." Kito glanced at the tortoise with irritation. He was not in the mood for conversation. He replied, "I don't have time to talk, old one. I have responsibilities. I have a family to protect." Jabari nodded slowly and said, "Yes, I can see that. You are trying very hard to control everything around you. But tell me, how is that working for you?" Kito felt a flash of anger. Who was this slow old tortoise to question him? But then he looked down at his own trembling paws, his thin body and his exhausted reflection in a nearby puddle. He realized he looked more like a prisoner than a protector. Kito's voice cracked as he said, "I have to protect them. I have to make sure nothing bad happens. I failed once before. I cannot fail again." Jabari tilted his head and asked gently, "When did you fail?" Kito's eyes filled with pain. He whispered, "When my father died, I was too small. I couldn't stop it. I couldn't save him." Jabari was silent for a long moment. Then he said, "Ah, I see. You believe that if you control everything, You can prevent pain and loss. You think that if you hold on tightly enough, nothing will slip through your claws. Kito nodded. That was exactly what he believed. Jabari sighed and said, "Young one, let me tell you a story. Many years ago, there was a great flood in this savannah. The rains came and did not stop. The rivers overflowed. Animals were swept away. I was much younger then, but still slow. I watched as many animals tried to fight the water. The strong ones, like buffalo and zebras, tried to stand firm against the current. They planted their hooves and pushed back with all their strength. Do you know what happened to them?" Kito shook his head. Jabari continued. Most of them drowned. They exhausted themselves, fighting what they could not control. But some animals, the ones who survived, did something different. They let go. They stopped fighting the current. They allowed the water to carry them, and they used their energy to steer toward safety, not to stop the flood. Kito felt confused. He said, "But that sounds like giving up. That sounds like weakness." Jabari smiled gently and replied, "No, my young friend. Letting go is not giving up. Letting go is accepting that some things are beyond your control. It is understanding that you cannot stop every danger, prevent every loss, or control every outcome. Life is like the river. You can guide your path, but you cannot stop the water from flowing. When you spend all your energy trying to control the uncontrollable, you have nothing left to actually live." Kito sat in silence. Jabari's words felt strange and uncomfortable. His whole life had been built on the idea that he must control everything to keep his family safe. But deep down, he knew the truth. He was exhausted. He was miserable. And despite all his efforts, he still could not guarantee that nothing bad would ever happen. He had been holding on so tightly to control that he had forgotten how to breathe. He had been so afraid of losing the ones he loved that he had already lost his own peace, his own health, and even his connection with them. Jabari saw the conflict in Kito's eyes. He said, "Let me show you something." The old tortoise slowly walked to a nearby tree where a bird's nest sat on a low branch. Inside the nest were 3 small baby birds, chirping loudly. Their mother was perched nearby, watching. Jabari said, "Look at that mother bird. She protects her babies, yes. She brings them food. She keeps them warm. But do you know what she will do very soon?" Kito shook his head. Jabari continued, "She will push them out of the nest. She will force them to fly. And some of them might fall. Some might struggle. She cannot control whether they survive or not. But she must let them go, because that is the only way they will ever learn to fly. If she holds on to them forever, they will die in the nest." Kito felt a lump in his throat. He understood what Jabari was saying. By holding on so tightly to Amara, by trying to control every danger, he was not protecting her. He was preventing her from growing, from learning, from becoming strong, and he was destroying himself in the process. Jabari placed a gentle claw on Kito's paw and said, "Young cheetah, you cannot control life. You cannot stop death. You cannot prevent all pain. These things are part of the river, but you can choose how you move through the water. You can let go of what you cannot control and focus on what you can. You can love your family without suffocating them. You can be watchful without being consumed by fear. You can honor your father's memory by living fully, not by dying slowly while you are still alive." Tears filled Kito's eyes. For the first time since his father's death, he allowed himself to feel the grief he had been carrying. He had never mourned. He had only fought. He had turned his pain into a weapon of control. But now, Sitting with this wise old tortoise, he realized that the weight he had been carrying was not protection. It was a prison. Jabari said softly, "Letting go does not mean you stop caring. It means you stop trying to control what was never yours to control. It means you trust that life will unfold as it must, and that you will find the strength to face whatever comes." Kito took a deep, shaky breath. He asked, "But how do I let go? I don't even know where to start." Jabari smiled and said, "Start small. Tonight, do not patrol the territory. Let your body rest. Tomorrow, allow Amara to make her own choices. Watch her, yes, but do not control her. Each day, practice releasing one small thing you have been gripping too tightly. It will feel terrifying at first, but slowly, you will discover something beautiful. You will discover freedom." That evening, Kito did something he had not done in years. He lay down in the grass next to his mother and simply rested. He did not get up to patrol. He did not scan the horizon for danger. He felt his mother's warmth beside him, and for the first time in a long time, he felt peace. It was not easy. His mind screamed at him to get up, to check, to control. But he breathed deeply and reminded himself of Jabari's words. "Some things are beyond my control. I cannot stop the river. I can only choose how I move through it." The next morning, Amara approached Kito nervously. She said, "Brother, I want to go hunting with the other young cheetahs today." In the past, Kito would have immediately said no. He would have listed all the dangers. He would have insisted she stay close. But today, he paused. He looked into his sister's eyes and saw not a helpless cub, but a strong young cheetah who needed to learn and grow. He took a deep breath and said, "Okay, be careful, trust yourself, and come back when you are ready." Amara's eyes widened in shock and joy. She nuzzled her brother and ran off to join her friends. Kito watched her go. His heart pounded with fear. Every instinct told him to follow her, to protect her. But he stayed. He sat down and felt the fear without acting on it. He let her go. And slowly, as the day passed, the fear began to ease. He realized that Amara was capable. She was strong. She had learned from him and from their mother. She did not need him to control her every move. That evening, Amara returned, tired but glowing with pride. She had caught her first prey on her own. Kito felt a swell of emotion. By letting go, he had given her the space to become who she was meant to be. Over the following weeks, Kito continued to practice letting go. He stopped patrolling obsessively. He allowed himself to rest. He stopped trying to prevent every possible danger. He could not control the hyenas, the weather, or the future. But he could control his own response. He could choose to live with presence and peace instead of constant fear. And something miraculous happened. As Kito released his grip on control, his body began to heal. He gained weight. His eyes brightened. His relationships improved. Amara was happier. His mother smiled more. Other cheetahs approached him with friendship instead of fear. One day, Jabari returned to visit Kito. The old tortoise looked at the young cheetah and said, "You look different, lighter." Kito smiled and replied, "I feel different. I finally understand. I cannot control the river. I cannot stop the flood. But I can swim. I can float. I can trust that I will find my way." Jabari nodded with deep satisfaction and said, "You have learned the greatest lesson of all. True strength is not in holding on. True strength is in letting go." Kito looked out over the savannah, the place where he had lost his father, the place where he had nearly lost himself. But now he saw it differently. He saw beauty. He saw life. He saw the endless flow of the river, and he was no longer afraid. He had spent so many years believing that love meant control, but now he understood. Love meant trust. Love meant release. Love meant allowing the people you care about to take their own risks, make their own mistakes, and find their own strength. Kito never forgot his father, but he stopped living in the shadow of that loss. He honored his father's memory, not by trying to prevent all future pain, but by living fully, bravely, and freely. He had learned that life would bring both joy and sorrow, safety and danger, connection and loss. And that was okay, because he no longer needed to control it all. He only needed to show up, do his best, and let go of the rest. Letting go is not giving up. It is not weakness. It is one of the most powerful things you can do. When you release your grip on what you cannot control, you free yourself to focus on what you can. You free yourself to live, to love, and to be present. You free yourself from the exhausting weight of trying to manage the unmanageable. If this story touched your heart, give it a like and share it with someone who is holding on too tightly. Subscribe to Wordy Lessons for more life-changing animal stories that teach powerful lessons and improve your English at the same time. Thank you for being here. See you in the next story. Until then, remember, let go of what you cannot control, and you will finally be free to live.